That's what you get when you let your heart win. All right. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna blab and spill tea and just talk for a second about The Housemaid. All right, so I finished this book about 2 weeks ago. I've just been working a lot lately, and I've been wanting to do a review on this for a while. I know I'm a little late on the Housemaid train. I know a lot of people read this like a year ago, and I'm like, you know what, let me read it now. It was just on my shelf begging me, read me, please, read me. And I did. I definitely did. Let's get it started. So, the yellow was... Wait, what was the yellow? Give me a second. The yellow was Nina was talking crazy. All right? The blue proves she was crazy. And then the red is just all red flags. Mostly Andrew, because hold the fuck up. And then, you know, I judged a little too much on Nina. So she's just not crazy. She's not. But you know what? She was kind of talking crazy. But you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. First off, let's get that out the fucking way. All right, but let's super dive into this. All right. I took a lot of notes on this book because, girl, what? Frida McFadden, you are a genius. Your twists are because you really had us fooled for the entire freaking book. You had me fooled. I was calling my boyfriend every single day, telling him about this book because it was stressing me out. And he was like, what's happening next? And I'm like, I gotta figure it out. Woo! I will hang up because I need to figure it out. And I figured it out. All right, so I didn't like Millie from the beginning. We left Paramore, we get it. I didn't like Millie from the beginning. She was, you know, a little delulu. A little too delulu for my liking, because, you know, every girlie is delulu. And I support delusion sometimes, but hers was kind of, no. Just no. I understood the whole thing where she needed a job and stuff, and, you know, going to prison and things like that. Sometimes it's hard. You know, I watch Orange is the New Black. I know what it's like, okay? But, you know, for her to continuously think that Nina didn't do a background check on her, like Nina was stupid or something, like, sweetie, you didn't think twice why you got the job? I would have been questioning, like, oh, why did you choose me? You would look a little too excited to have me here. What's the catch? Because I'm not just gonna be cleaning your house. And the fact, before she got the job, Nina told Millie, this is gonna be your room. A tiny little attic. This is gonna be your room. And a cot. Not even a bed, a cot. And a window this small to look out of. I get it. Desperate times calls for desperate measures, but baby, a mansion? And this is where you keeping me to sleep? I would have just struggled to find another job, because what? What? No, we're not doing that. All right, another note I had was I thought Enzo was a creep. I thought like he was just pretending to do their garden. Like I thought he was just like a spy or something. I legit thought he was a creep. And then for Millie again to try to throw herself at him, and he was like, no. Millie, you're doing too fucking much. I get it. You haven't had known in 10 years. You trying to get at someone's husband and the gardener? Please, bro, please. No, we're not. And then, you know, before I figured it out, I was like, why is there a tiny room in their house anyway? Why? I'm thinking in a mansion, the attic is gonna be humongous anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would there be a tiny room if it's a mansion? That attic should be humongous. It should be the size of a fucking Walmart at that point. Like, what are we doing here? Another one that had me confused. Like, I just didn't get it. First off, what was the point of trying to have Millie get arrested for shoplifting? I didn't get it. I still don't get it. It was never really explained. They were just trying to catch her shoplifting, put her back in jail. Like, who did that? Was it Nina or Andrew? Because I'm confused now. If it was all part of her plan from the jump, from the get-go, why try to have her arrested for shoplifting over some fucking bread? please, please. And another thing, I had red flagged it. The first red flag. One of my favorite colors is orange. Why Millie was talking about, I don't really have a favorite color, but as long as it's not orange. Meet me in the fucking parking lot because I'm throwing hands. I'm throwing hands. And now that I know that Sydney Sweeney is playing Millie, I'll mess you up. Do not play. My pants is on. Do not play. And then again, before I figured it out and whatnot, why didn't Millie being in prison, why didn't it face Andrew? Like, Nina legit called her out and was like, oh, how was prison food? Was it like, I always wanted to know what prison food was like. Why didn't he really care? I would have been like, what the fuck? You was in prison? Get out of my house. You know what I mean? Like, why do I want a criminal cleaning my room, cleaning my house? In Andrew's perspective, but obviously he didn't care. In his mind, he was like, coochie's coochie, but that had me very thrown for a loop. And then back to the Millie thing. She fell in love with Andrew way too fast. She was just like, this man is gorgeous. He's so handsome. Why would he fall in love with someone like Nina? She's like ugly and fat and la da 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 da. Like, he deserved to be with someone like me. And then when she found out that like Nina couldn't get pregnant and stuff like that, she was automatically like, I could give him babies. I could give him the life he always wanted. Blah, 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 blah. Delusions I can't support. 101. No. Can't do it. Can't do it. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty details. So Nina was actually a good mom. She was a good mom. And her plan was genius. Fucked up, but genius. And Cynthia, I was about to, Cecilia wasn't a brat. She had to act like it, because Cecilia's not slow. She caught on to everything Andrew was doing. So you know what? I applaud it. I applaud it. This book was triggering though, with the abuse and stuff. Like, this was literally to an extent where I was like, I had to close the book at one point, because literally the plot twist of Nina being abused literally shattered my heart, because I was like, what? Everything she did made sense now. And then I remember I was calling my boyfriend. I was like, I still don't get it. He was like, Millie's the replacement. I'm like, and the book, if the book ended Millie being the replacement and just Millie just staying in the attic, that would have been such a great cliffhanger. I would have been like, what? But you know what? I'll get to my opinion on the ending, because but Andrew took advantage of her and her situation. Like, it was when he met her when she was just giving birth to, no, not just giving birth, when she just had given birth to Cecilia and was in the room with her breast leaking and stuff with the milk, and her boss was yelling at her, and her baby daddy left her and shit like that. Like, she was going through a hard time, and Andrew took advantage of that. He didn't think she was beautiful. No, he took advantage of the fact that she was vulnerable and someone he wanted to control and manipulate. Another genius point, when she got the IUD, I was like, because imagine getting pregnant with that fucker, bro. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, girl, throw all the birth control things in there. She ate with that. Another note I put here, she even let Andrew continue to have sex with her even after the abuse. The way I would have done in Chicago, he had it coming. He had it coming, because black lingerie and all. Because what do you mean you're gonna abuse me and then try to touch me? The things you have to do to survive abuse are just fucking crazy. Like, I don't know, bro. These fucking men are ridiculous, bro. Like, Andrew's a fucking loser. A loser. That's what he did. This man got mad because her roots were shown. Nina's roots were showing, and he was like, oh, you look disgusting. Come here, Pookie. We're going to the attic. What? He made her pluck 100 hairs from her head. And then he was like, slide it in the envelope underneath the door, right? And she did. But since one of the follicles weren't from up here, he was like, you have to restart. So she plucked another 100 and plus 10 more just in case he wanted to start on some bullshit. Locked in a room for 2 whole days. Or was it 1 whole day? Doesn't matter, bro. You shouldn't be locked in a room, fucking period. But he was like, I can't have my wife looking around, like walking around here looking disgusting. Like a slob. That's what he said. All because he likes blondes. And he loves the color white. And she can't wear nothing else but his favorite color. I wish a motherfucker would, bro. Like this literally had me wanting to pull my own hair out because no way. She didn't put air freshener in the room. Right? You know what he made her do? He locked her in the attic and made her pepper spray her own eyes. And he said wide open too. Directly in. And he would leave her in there for 2-3 days, sometimes like what, 4 or 5 days, maybe even a week. So she could get weak or no food, no water. Mind you, only 3 little bottles of water. Just so she could drink. And she, bendito, bro, she had to literally save him. Because she was like, I don't know how long I'm going to be in here. I need to save my resources. He would wait till she got weaker. So when he opened that door, she can't do nothing to him. He thought he was fucking smart. After one of those times he locked her in there, he fed her a bagel and gave her some water. He drugged her. He drugged her. It got to a point where she was laying in bed all day, didn't even realize it. He put Cecilia in the bathtub. Water rising. He tried to kill her own daughter. That's not even his kid. He tried to kill her own daughter. And then gaslit her so she could be in a mental asylum? Or institution, whatever. Same fucking shit. And told her, no, you tried to do this to Cecilia. You tried, you did. And she was like, oh my God, I did. When she literally remembers crawling to the tub to try and save her own daughter's life. Like any mother would. And on top of that, when when Millie found out that Nina did that, Millie was like, oh, she had to kill her own daughter. No wonder Cecilia's fucking blah, blah, blah. Poor Cecilia, not can't even feel bad for her because her own mother's a lunatic. Millie was just doing way too much, bro. Like, it was crazy. It really was crazy. But you know what? Let's move on. That one time when he locked her in the room and was like, either you want brightness to fuck up your eyes or pure darkness so you could fuck up your eyes. And then he said he was spying on her because she went and took out one of the light bulbs. Smart. And he was like, oh, I would have never thought of that. How did you do that? And she was like, how did you know I did that? And he was like, oh, I'm always watching you. And she was trying to look for the camera. He was like, you're never going to find the camera. So don't even fucking bother. Me, I would have tore that room apart looking for that camera. Tore it apart. I do not care. The room is small. It could be literally anywhere. I don't got to look too much. The fact that they didn't bother doing that, it's crazy. Crazy to me. And then, you know, even after the fact that he drugged her and tried to kill her daughter, and the fact that Cecilia's allergic to peanut butter. Listen, I'm allergic to peanut butter too. I know. And he knew that and literally still tried to feed her. No, he fed her peanut butter and tried to kill her again. And Nina just let it happen. The fact that I still would have done Chicago, he had it coming. You know the one when she was like, he ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 10 times. Squish. Yeah, that one. I get it. You have a kid, and if you do that, you're gonna go to jail and all this stuff. But baby, a little poison ain't gonna do nothing. You know, it ain't gonna harm nobody. Just a little poison. You know what I'm saying? And yo, and there was another one that had me fucking like, oh my gosh. He starved her because she ate chocolate cake. She indulged in the chocolate cake, and he was like, oh, you want to be greedy? Let's go up to the attic. And starved her. And then she tried to make herself unattractive, like unappealing, so he can leave her. And it still didn't work. He stopped caring because he started figuring out, like, oh, I know what she's trying to do. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna happen. The way I would have gained weight, disgustingly. I want to look like Constance from Monster House. Yeah, you had to see if you want to stay with me after that. Do not play with me. Oh, I want Andrew to be real in real life so I can fuck him up. And then it was all part of Nina's plan. Like, Nina was like, I need to find someone gorgeous, like more beautiful than me. Like, leave them alone so they could end up falling for each other. Like, just start being crazy and being and rude and, you know, disrespectful. That way, like, he can comfort her. Like, her plan worked. And the fact that it was Enzo that helped her. Yeah, so like Enzo's sister had like went through that, Benito, and he couldn't save her. So he was like, you know what, I'm gonna help you, Nina, but you know, you need like a fake passport and a fake ID and like a new name, new identity, basically all this new stuff. And she had it hidden, bruh. And when Andrew found it, yo, the anxiety that poured down my spine and my heart when he was like, oh, so what's all this? What are you planning to do with all this? He was like, oh, you planning to leave me? Whew. The way I was literally shitting bricks, I was like, no way. No way, bro. He found it. I think it was the night when like Nina basically was like, oh, why do you have my clothes in your closet, to Millie? And Millie was like, you gave them to me. And she was like, I would have known I'd given you my clothes. It just added up to when like Millie went through her medicine drawer and found like the psychotic medication and things like that. And she was just like, oh, so you're forgetting things. Millie was basically in her mind like, oh, this bitch just forgetting things. And Nina had to make up a plan to leave. And Andrew legit was like, get out my house. And Nina was like, thank the Lord, finally it worked. And then the crazy part is, like, they were arguing, right, Nina and Andrew? Why Millie was like, can I help you pack? Bitch, the way I would have smacked the hell out of Millie, because there's no way you're being... You think you're funny? You think you're freaking hilarious. What was the point of all that, bro? And the fact that Millie got so delulu afterwards that she was like, I'm his girlfriend. I want to marry him. I'm going to have his kids. And we're definitely sleeping in the same bed already. So I don't have to sleep in that stupid cot upstairs. Yikes. We waited 300 pages to finally find out why Millie went to prison. Because the whole book, they just kept saying she went to prison. I want to know what she went for. Because she killed somebody. Because one of her friends was about to get raped. And she was like, pom, pom, pom. What a paperweight. As she fucking should. But since, you know, Nina read that, she was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to hire her so she could specifically kill Andrew. She helped Millie, right? Because there was usually like a little bucket in the closet in the attic they were sitting in. And it was basically like for them to pee in it. Fucking disgusting. And no tissue, no nothing, whatever, right? So since, what's this thing called, Nina has been locked in there for many times, she left a little bottle of pepper spray in that bucket for Millie. Oh, let's get to the hold on, let me get to the point. Let me get to that part. So at one point after Andrew kicked out Nina, they were like sleeping together and all this stuff, and then Millie had went up to the attic and was basically like, oh, I'm just gonna take some stuff and move it downstairs to the guest room since it's gonna be our room now, right? Tan chistosa. Anyway, she was just like, oh, it's gonna be our room, whatever. He's like, okay. I was gonna, you know, mention that, or like, anyway, right? Tell me why he locked the door behind her. He locked Millie in there. And you know what he told Millie to do? Since, oh, he locked her in there because she left books downstairs on the table. He was like, oh, you was reading my books and you didn't put them back. You left a mess. You left a mess. So you know what you gotta do? You gotta put those 3 humongous books on your stomach and leave it there for 3 hours. Mind you, she's, you know, skinny. So it was hurting her and it bruised her. And she took off the books 1 second too early. He didn't like that. So she had to start over. So basically 6 whole hours with those books on her stomach. Back to what I was saying, Nina had left the pepper spray in there. So Millie, when she got out, pepper sprayed him. And Andrew thought he was so cute to gloat about the fact that he could see her through the camera. So when he came into the room trying to feed her and shit, he was like, oh, I can see you on my camera. He had like the phone. She pepper sprayed him and took it. Yup. She pepper sprayed him and took the phone and locked him in there. She locked Andrew in there, as she should. Because the fuck, who you think you is? I love the fact that Millie put 2 and 2 together right fucking quick though. Because she didn't waste no time. She didn't waste no time. Because Nina got locked in there in the first place because he had told her like, hey, I have some stuff upstairs, you know, like it's like a storage room up there. I just need some help finding some files. He locked her ass in there because she wanted to be talking to people and basically was like, he was like, don't be telling my business. Fucking Nina got sent back to the mental hospital or whatever the frick. And basically they were like, she was like, no, I'm not crazy. Like he said it was a storage room, but it wasn't. So when they went back to go look at the attic, he made it and looked like a storage room. Not like how he was trapping her in there, locking her in there. She legit telling her therapist like, no, he would lock me in there. And then she ended up telling Enzo that, and Enzo was like, what? And then fucking she was like, wait, I didn't know you spoke English. I didn't know you understood English. Because he was Italian. You know, because he was Italian, and she was just like, oh, I'm just going to confide in this man since he doesn't know what I'm talking about. He was like, you get tortured up there? Crazy. Yeah, you're coming with me. Oh, and another thing I missed. The little show that Nina wanted to go see for a while, and she had told Millie, hey, book the tickets the Sunday after this Sunday, whatever the frick, because I have to take Cecilia to camp. She took Cecilia to a camp, like making an excuse so she could like basically flee and leave. So he could, so she doesn't have to, what's this thing called? So he wouldn't have to hurt Cecilia because, you know, that's her daughter. And she was like, you know, I'm taking back my life. So all that was happening, and she knew, like she was tracking their phone. She knew when they went to the show together. She knew when they went to the hotel together. She was just like, I need them to have an affair. They had an affair. Like Andrew legit threw himself at Millie. Nina set that whole thing up. She was like, no, what's supposed to be for this Sunday, it's supposed to be for the next. She literally made a whole show, like a whole scene just for, you know, Millie to feel bad. And then Andrew was just like, it's okay, we could just go. Because I feel like he kind of knew that Millie didn't have friends. And even though she was like, oh, I don't really have friends, I have no one to go with, my bad. And he was just like, let's go. And they had an affair. Shit was crazy. And when she came back, she was basically asking Millie like, yo, why was your phone? Like, I called, you didn't answer. And like, she was so scared because she didn't throw the trash away. So then Andrew legit had to pay Enzo $400 some shit to throw the trash away, bro. It was fucking crazy. And I'm not even done yet. I still got 2 more pages of notes, bro. Enzo was the only one who had actual common fucking sense in this book. Not only was he like, he knew what was going on in that house and didn't want to pry, but he was the one that legit said, Nina, you have to go back and save Millie. Like, I saved you, I helped you out of this situation. Mind you, Enzo and Nina had an affair anyway. But so, he was like, I helped you out of this situation. You can't have a replacement. Like, you know what's gonna happen to her. And she was like, that's not my fucking problem. What happens to her, it happens to her. And Enzo was like, bro, my sister went through that. You went through that. You're gonna let another woman go through that shit? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Go back and save her. And the way she was like, how do you know she's alive, blah, blah, blah. Or like, how do you know like she's in trouble? And he was like, I put a tag on her car 3 days ago and it has not moved from there. She's still at the house and she's still in the attic. Ooh, crazy, crazy, crazy. The way Andrew died, I didn't like it. I wanted some action. I wanted Millie to like stab him in the neck or something. Since the roles reversed, she tortured him and basically had told him, oh, since you want to have me have books on my stomach for 6 hours, put the books on your area. Yeah, put it on in your dick so you could have it there. Those heavy books. And then she was like, you could have that for like 6 hours or something like that. And she was like, he goes, no, you said 3. She goes, oh, I said 3. No, put another 6 hours. So he legit had to leave it there for that long. And then he was just like, I did what you asked, now let me out. And she was like, no, pluck out your teeth. And he was one by one. And I felt like every time she promised him, like, hey, take out a tooth and I'll let you out. She did that for, I don't know how long she kept him in there. Because Millie when Nina went back to save Millie, she saw Andrew dead on the floor, like starved, dehydrated, missing teeth. And Millie was basically like, this happened to you and you were gonna let me just fucking die here? No. And my heart shattered when Nina was basically like, Cecilia, forgive me for what I'm about to do. She spared Millie. Nina spared Millie and was like, go. Because if you break your parole, you're going back to prison for the next 10 years or whatever the fuck. So Nina was about to take the blame. I thought Nina was gonna go to jail, bro. I thought her life was over. I legit thought her life was over. I missed the cops came in basically, and the cop was the father of Andrew's ex. And Andrew's ex went through some shit with him, which didn't disclose in the book. It was like that she was just heartbroken over him and he mistreated her and like da 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 da. So the cop was just like, I'm glad he's fucking dead. Ooh-wee. That twist was crazy. Basically covering up Nina and was like, oh, we'll just say he died of dehydration and shit. And then it turns out the reason why Andrew was like that was because of his mother. I haven't even read the second or third book yet, but I know his mother was the fucking reason he was a fucking monster. In the book, she was like, y'all using too much light in this house. Light is a privilege. And that's why he locked her in there with the light bulb. And she was like, either you in there with full brightness or full darkness. And he was like, you heard my mother. Light is a privilege. Mind you, he was the one that wasted the light, not even Nina. But yeah, so at the end of the book, she was basically like, I told him he always needed to take care of his teeth. Teeth is a privilege. And Nina was like, oh. Wow. Because the mother never liked Nina anyway, because I don't fucking know. Because her kid was like a bastard or whatever that she was saying. Whatever, bro. The mother was just being a freaking bitch. But she was like rich and famous. Like, not even famous, but she was just well known and she just knew a lot of people. So she knew the cops and all this stuff. And they told her like what really happened and all this stuff. Like, his mother was just crazy. Like, she abused and punished him. And that's what made him a monster, bro. And another thing that broke my heart was like every time Cecilia misbehaved or didn't want to wear the dresses Andrew picked out, he would lock Nina in the attic naked. So then Cecilia, smart girl, started figuring out every time she did something bad or did something wrong, her mom would disappear for days at a time. And Andrew had the same excuse every time, like, oh, she's just out of town visiting family. And it's like, no, my mom was upstairs this whole time. But she didn't know the mom was upstairs the whole time. She just thought like, every time I do something daddy doesn't want, mommy's gone. So I just want to be with my mom. When Nina was like, oh, that's it, no more daddy, she was like, oh, fuck yeah. So it was just like, finally, bro, finally. Because when they were like leaving, they were going somewhere. I forgot where they were going. But Nina was just like, no, dad's not coming. Dad's not invited. He's not allowed, whatever. So he was like, bruh, finally, no more frilly dresses. Like, I just want to be a kid, please. And then Evelyn, yeah, the mother's name was Evelyn. Evelyn was basically like that she hated Nina and Cecilia was a brat and they should have been divorced, la da da. And it's like crazy fucking work. And then the end of the book, which was kind of chef's kiss to me, was when Millie went to another person's house so she could do that, like her housemaid skills at, bro. The wife was basically like, oh, you had a good recommendation letter from Nina Winchester. I'm gonna need your help with something. Millie was like, I got you. She literally recommended Millie for killing services. Ain't that shit dope as fuck? Ain't that shit dope as fuck? Now she's helping women who went through that abuse. I just hope she doesn't do the whole thing where like she has to fall in love with the husbands every time. Like, no. She would be a crazy hitman. Yeah. Why didn't they just make her a hitman, bro? This shit would have been fire as fuck. That wraps up all the notes I have for this book. So I don't know if you can see it. The green was like the understandable parts that Nina was going through. The blue turned from proving that Nina was crazy to Andrew was crazy. And all the red flags were basically Andrew. And then the yellow was just Nina, and then Andrew talking crazy. Bro, this book was legit so good. 10 out of 10. Matter of fact, I'll say 9 out of 10 because I did not like the way Andrew died. Like, I feel like Nina and Millie should have ganged up on his ass, bro. 1,000 cuts. It would have been dope. But you know what? Still a really good book. Still a really good read. So I can't fucking complain. I can't wait to read the second one. I know I have it, but I gotta get it. I gotta get it from my other room. But you know what? Y'all need to read this, bro. Thank you for my book talk today. Thank you for tuning in, and tell me what your favorite part was, because this book was crazy. I want to read the comments. Give me another book rec, and you know what? Thank you for tuning in to Jossie's Reads. Jossie's Reads.